Hello and welcome back to our Midstream Shorts video series of when we spend 5 minutes to talk about some of the things around lighting that we'd like you to know. This is an opportunity to just share some insights, and if you like the information and you'd like to know something else, you'd like to have a new topic, just let us know in the comments below and we'll definitely be reacting to that as quickly as we can. So today's topic is about controls, lighting controls, and I'm going to keep it fairly high level, but ultimately lighting systems are today controlled mainly by three types of controls, and the most frequently used is something called DALI. This is known as the Digital Addressable Lighting Interface. It's a protocol, like a language, that luminaires are able to communicate with the control system. And it's one that is the most useful because it can give quite a lot of digital feedback. So especially with the DALI 2 protocol, this is the latest development, we're able to receive quite a lot of feedback from the luminaire itself. Hours of usage, power on time, which can translate into power used, so for environmental considerations, and things like having alarms set for any faults that can develop with the luminaire. So super useful. There is an analog version of this called 1 to 10V, and that's really kind of just a voltage. And depending on whether 0 to 10 will depend on how the luminaires react. So that's more of an analog system. And then there's DMX. And DMX is probably the most advanced system for fast lighting controls. And it's really used predominantly in stadium lighting or communicating a lot of lighting fixtures simultaneously. Normally for airports or container terminals, this is not required. A simple DALI or 1 to 10V system will be more than adequate. Of course, for stadiums that require a lot of light controls, light shows, or theaters, these kind of applications, DMX is really kind of the chosen protocol to use. Now, even though you have this system that is a protocol, a language that the luminaires understand through their power supply unit, you have to think about what happens when you want to communicate to the control system. That's the brains that will then give signals to the individual luminaires or group luminaires. And that signal can travel either by a specialized cable, so a secondary cable along next to the power that allows you to communicate. Sometimes it's done through the same cable as the power by frequency, and so that'll be power line communication. Sometimes it can be done wirelessly, so either through radio frequency, LoRaWAN, or even through Wi-Fi. So depending on the requirements and your infrastructure, this will typically dictate what kind of system that you would like to use. Of course, we need to think about security considerations, about how easily something is hackable. But beyond that, we also need to consider who is going to be using the system and what's it used for. And I often like to say, well, even when you have a system, you always should have somebody trained in its operation and some kind of a system in place to allow for training of others, because people tend to move on, get different jobs, and so you can't have that brain drain when somebody leaves. You have to have a system in place to train other operatives. So having someone trained on it, someone responsible for the control system, is very important. And of course, think about how often you're going to be using it. Are you thinking about just dimming the luminaires? Are you thinking about zoning certain luminaires? Is it used for feedback and any kind of information gathering? So whatever you require, this will pretty much drive your decision as to which system you will use. We've worked, in fact, with all of those systems, with DMX and sports, with 1 to 10V, with DALI and DALI 2, and indeed through wireless protocols and wired protocols. And actually, there's no one winner. It's, in fact, what the right solution might be for the right customer. So if you need more information, please contact us. We'll be happy to go through all the options with you and help you identify the one that works best for you. As always, we look forward to your comments and feedback, and see you on the next show. Thanks and have a great day.